Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to Mr. Patrick's Laboratory. We're going to have a great time today. We're going to be making slime. In the last video, you maybe saw I was talking about the event called the Honor Connor Run, where some of my friends who live in the Fort Worth area are coming and we had slime time together. Okay, but this video is for boys and girls and maybe parents who didn't have time to do it at the event, or they wanted to do it at home because they didn't want it in the car. Or maybe you don't live in our area, but you'd like to be a part of what's going on. So we're going to have slime time. Now I'm going to have two versions of slime that I'm making. I'm making slime. The first one I'm going to make is for like boys and girls who might be 3 years and younger. It is non-toxic. Both of them are non-toxic, but this one's made in such a manner that if a young child is playing with it and they might get it in their mouth, it's not going to hurt them at all. Here's what we're going to use. We're going to use cornstarch. Okay, you would have this in the kitchen. You would use to make gravies and different things, cornstarch, and just a little bit of water. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the camera down so you can watch it happen. Now, if you were at the event, you're going to get a bag that has these ingredients. I'm going to do it here in my laboratory on a bigger scale so you can see what's going on. So you'll have things in a Ziploc baggie and maybe a container to mix together. All right, but here's how we're going to do it in the lab. We'll go ahead and move my camera down like this. And here's what we're going to do. I've got just a glass container. And again, if you weren't at the event, you can do this at home. I'm just going to take that cornstarch and I'm going to take a couple of teaspoons of it. Now, the big thing about this is that it doesn't take much water. So I'm going to put a little bit of water in there. I'm going to start little and work from there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix that water in. And if you had one of the Ziploc baggies, you're just going to mix in the water that it was given to you. You can always add a little bit more water from your from a water bottle or something like that. And so as you're mixing it in, it's going to get very thick very, very fast. This kind of slime is a little bit different than normal slime because it'll hold together pretty well and it does some really, really cool things. And so if you had it in a Ziploc baggie, you would just pour the liquid in there and you'd be squeezing from the outside of the baggie. That's the only difference. And I want you to notice what's happening. As I'm stirring this together, it looks really thick, but look how it runs, okay? And so you want to get it sort of pretty thick. So I'm just going to put the littlest bit, a couple of pinches more of cornstarch in there because I want it to get as thick as I can and make that water absorb it. And boy, oh, that's working great. So when I'm scraping it from the bottom, it looks really, really interesting. Watch how that's happening. It looks almost like a pudding. But what's really weird is when you play with it, it breaks. Okay, it breaks. It doesn't feel like liquid. This is great for young kids to play with. If you don't want to open the Ziploc baggie, you just want to play from the outside, that's fine. This will not hurt you. On your fingers, it's just cornstarch and water. Okay, it'll eventually dry up and it just peels off. Simple water takes it right off your hands. That's why this one is really great for 3-year-olds and under. They can play with this and they can take it and you can see it looks like a liquid as it comes running off, but it actually breaks off in pieces. It's really cool to play with. If you didn't get enough in the Ziploc baggie and you wanted to have some more at home, you can easily make this one at home. Again, it's cornstarch that you just get a normal store and the littlest bit of water. If you add too much water, then keep adding cornstarch until it gets to this consistency that is really thick and then they can play with it. Now, one hint for you, because I did this one time. You don't want to put food coloring in it. With this one, the food coloring will make it blue or yellow or red or whatever you want, but your fingers will absorb the water out of it, so now your hands are going to be blue or red or yellow. Keep it white and you don't have to worry too much about it. It's going to be powdery, but it just washes off. So this is for the youngest one. This is the slime that we made for the youngest ones. And again, if you weren't with us, couldn't be with us, this is a great one you can play with at home. This one's fun, okay? The other one that we're going to do is for the older kids. Okay, and for the older kids, we're going to do this one a little bit different. Now, you may have seen parents online that there are a lot of different slime recipes, and some of them are not as safe as others. You want to probably stay away from the ones that have borax in it. Borax is used as a detergent additive, and when we mix borax with water, it can get too strong. It's boric acid is what it becomes in water, but it can actually make chemical burns, and we're not going to do that. We're not going to do one like that. We're going to do one that's a lot safer than that. So what we're going to end up doing, and maybe you've seen this one before, is we're going to be taking glue and we're going to make it into a slime. Now, there are different kinds, and the one, if you were at the Connor Run, then you probably got a green one or a blue one or a red one that has glitter already in it. So your slime is going to have glitter in it. I just chose to have white glue. It's going to work exactly the same way. And so I'm going to take the glue, and I'm going to need baking soda, all right, which you have at home. And then maybe something you have at your house, but I wear contacts. This is contact solution. Contact solution, which obviously goes in your eyes, is not going to hurt you. Okay? It's very, very weak, and it has compounds in it that will cause a reaction that will make the slime. So you don't have to worry about your kids. If you got a baggie, you're going to have a full glue, and you would squirt it into the baggie, and then you would take the other container that has the baking soda in it, pour it in there, and you're going to mix that first. So you're going to mix your glue and your baking soda from the outside of the baggie. Mix it up, squeeze, 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 get it all mixed up, and then you'll add the saline solution. I'm going to do it in a bowl so you can actually see what happens, okay? So what I'm going to do is the same kind of thing as I did before. I'm going to have this bowl, except I'm going to take glue. Don't worry, Miss Christy knows I'm putting glue inside of her bowl, because when I end up making the slime, as a matter of fact, she might have to help me in a minute, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to take as much of this glue as I can and squeeze it all out in here. And then what I'm going to take next is the baking soda. Now, it's important that you do it in this order, okay? I'm going to get all the glue. That's pretty good. You don't have to have every ounce of it, but that's pretty good. I have the glue in it. And then I'm going to take the baking soda. This is just normal baking soda that you would have, that you buy at the store. Nothing magical about it. You're going to have a half a tablespoon. Half a tablespoon. So you're going to already have this. If you were at the run, it's already mixed for you, okay? And so what you're going to do is you're going to take that, and I'm just using a measuring spoon, and I'm going to dump it on top. Now, here's where it becomes important, okay? Here's where it becomes important. You got to mix these two together. So you're going to have your green glue or red glue or blue glue, whichever one you got, and you're going to have, I'm hoping you got green because it'll be an awesome slime. Put the baking soda with it, and then what you're going to do is you're going to, I'm just going to use a spoon, but we're going to mix all this together. If it was in a baggie, then what you're going to do is you mix this powder in, and then you squeeze from the outside. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Don't do it too fast. You want to make sure it squeezes in really, really good. Okay? Really, really good. And then I've got my baking soda inside of it, and this is going to be part of the reaction. That's why you have to have the baking soda. Okay? Now, this is a 6-ounce glue. Okay? And then you're just using everything that's inside the glue that they gave you. Okay? So I mixed it in really good. If I were doing it through a Ziploc baggie, I would squeeze, 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 squeeze until I got it right. Okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take contact solution, just normal contact solution, and I need 1 tablespoon. Again, if you got one of the baggies, it's already mixed in a container. But I'm going to go ahead and take my tablespoon of saline solution. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. There it is, and I'm going to mix it in. Now, I'm going to take that same spoon and I'm going to start mixing it in. You can already see something's happening. Look at that. So I want to try to mix it all in. Get stuff off the side. If I'm in a baggie, then I'm squeezing and it's going to start feeling harder. Okay? Starts feeling harder. Miss Christy's going to help me with the camera here in a second. She's going to have to help me with another step. Look what it's already doing. All right? There's a reaction for my older boys and girls. Here's what's happening. The saline solution is reacting with the baking soda, and when it reacts with the baking soda, it makes something that slimes your glue. So now I'm ready to pick it up. And what you're gonna have, you would open up your baggie, and you would have this working for you. So you can see, look what's happening already. Now, if it's sticking to your hands, get 1 more squirt of saline solution on the outside, and it won't stick to your hands anymore. So you'll see it's not on my hands. My hands are wet. Uh-oh, doesn't matter. What is it? It's saline solution. It's not going to hurt you, okay? And so I mixed it together, and look, oh, yeah, that's working great. It stretches, and the more I mix that stuff in, the longer it'll last. Now, important thing for both groups, if you keep it in the baggie, it will keep its moisture and last longer. It's pretty typical that 24 hours, this one will hang on, maybe longer, okay? Now, after the reactions happen, if I go more than 24 hours, can I put saline solution in it and keep it around? No, it's going to slowly start to come apart. And then you can just throw away the Ziploc baggie. But you're going to end up having green slime or red slime or blue slime, whatever it is, or you can do just regular glue. How cool is this? You and I got to have slime time together. So for my younger friends, we made one that is made out of cornstarch. We don't have to worry about it if it accidentally gets in their mouth, okay? But with my older kids, they can do this one. Okay, and you're making a slime that you can stretch and you pull it all different kinds of directions, and you can have a great time playing with slime. If you weren't able to make the event, that's great. I hope you have a great time with your mom and dad making slime together. I hope you're having a great start to school. I am. And I'm excited about all the things you're getting to learn this year and being in school with your friends. Hey, remember, science can be fun when you're with Mr. Patrick's Laboratory. Have a great time. Take care. We'll see you soon.